Hey you, yes you, I know you might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now, maybe even skeptical, but let me tell you something. It's not by chance that you're here today. You didn't just stumble across this message. Something far greater brought you here. There's a reason you're watching this, and it's because you're on the brink of something extraordinary. You're about to experience a shift so powerful that it's going to change your life in ways you never thought possible. You've been hoping, praying, and waiting for things to fall into place. And guess what? It's finally happening. This is your moment. Everything you've been working for, dreaming of, and believing in is no longer just a distant vision. It's becoming your reality. You are stepping into a new season where your desires are transforming into tangible blessings. And I'm here to help you understand how to align yourself with this powerful change. But before we dive in, I want you to pause for just a second and do 3 things for me. Hit that like button to show you're ready to receive, subscribe so you don't miss out on this journey, and drop a comment with the number 777, because that number signifies divine alignment. And by typing it, you're telling the universe that you're open to what's coming your way. Trust me when I say that if you stick around until the end, you'll walk away with a new perspective and a renewed sense of purpose. Not everyone is ready for this kind of transformation, but you are. You've been chosen for something bigger, and it's time to step into your destiny. Let's get into it. They assumed they knew your path, as if they had mapped out every turn and pitfall in advance. To them, you were just a figure waiting to falter, a shadow marked by doubt. They lingered on the sidelines, eyes sharp, ready to seize upon any hint of defeat. In their minds, your journey was destined to crumble under the weight of its own trials. They whispered predictions of failure, convinced that your spirit would give way under pressure. But they didn't see the silent strength woven into your resolve. Each setback didn't bend you. It forged you into something more resilient. The storms that were meant to scatter you only reinforced your roots. They couldn't grasp that your essence was not one to fracture, but to transform, adapting and thriving where others would have withered. Instead of watching you unravel, they witnessed a quiet defiance, an unspoken proclamation that you would not be defined by the expectations of those who doubted you. You didn't retaliate with words. Your actions spoke for themselves. As they waited for the inevitable collapse, you were already crafting your own destiny, molding adversity into opportunity. Their hopes for your defeat became relics of the past, washed away by the surge of your unwavering purpose. And as you continued to rise, their disbelief mirrored the very doubts they had once cast upon you, leaving them speechless in the wake of your undeniable triumph. It's easy for people to make assumptions when they only see the surface. They think they understand the scope of your potential, reducing you to a faint outline that fits within their limited perspective. At first glance, they dismiss your quiet strength, labeling it as frailty. They don't bother to dig deeper, to look beyond the calm and see the fire steadily growing within. They've already made up their minds, convinced that you're just another fleeting dreamer, destined to blend into the background. But what they don't realize is that you've never been interested in playing the part they've written for you. When they waited for your resolve to crack, they missed the quiet revolution that was building in your spirit. They expected you to shrink under pressure, but instead, you became more focused, more determined. You didn't seek their approval or fight for their recognition. You didn't need a grand announcement or a spectacle to prove yourself. Your actions spoke in whispers that echoed louder than their shouts. Their misunderstanding was your greatest ally. While they doubted, you thrived. The same doubts that were supposed to bind you only pushed you to innovate and evolve. You never relied on their acceptance, nor did you waste time seeking validation. You knew that the most profound transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments of persistence and self-belief. Every challenge they threw your way became an opportunity for growth. What they saw as barriers, you perceived as lessons. Each time they predicted your defeat, you silently shattered another limitation. You didn't just resist being boxed in, you redefined the entire framework. As they kept underestimating you, their narrow vision became the fuel for your relentless rise. The more they doubted, the more you expanded, pushing beyond every expectation. Greatness isn't about meeting standards, it's about setting your own, and you've been doing that all along without even trying to prove a point. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. Some people are born with a spirit that can't be caged, destined to carve their own way through life. It's not about rebelling for the sake of it. It's about refusing to be shaped by limitations that were never theirs to begin with. They tried to place boundaries around your potential, to mold your dreams to fit their comfort zones. They mistook compliance for acceptance, assuming you would always follow the route they had mapped out for you. Yet, one day, something shifted, a spark ignited, and you realized that the road ahead wasn't theirs to pave. You didn't need their validation or permission to break free. Letting go of their influence wasn't an act of defiance, but a declaration of purpose. The weight of their expectations no longer had the power to bend your will. You stepped forward, not in anger, but in clarity, leaving behind the doubts and the constriction they had imposed. Freedom wasn't handed to you. It was claimed. Breaking the mold wasn't a single act, but a journey of gradual revelation, each step peeling away the layers of imposed restraint. It wasn't about dismissing the past, but transforming it into a foundation for growth. In those first steps away from control, you found an untamed strength that had always been there, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The past could no longer hold you back, nor could the memories of being underestimated weigh you down. You discovered that being underestimated wasn't a setback, it was a fuel source, a catalyst for change. When the odds lined up against you, it would have been easy to surrender. The road wasn't smooth, nor was it lined with support or encouragement. You didn't possess the resources they deemed necessary for success, but you possessed something far more powerful, an unwavering resolve. When others declared it impossible, you kept pushing forward. Adversity wasn't a deterrent, it was a spark that fueled your progress. Each barrier became a benchmark, each challenge a lesson. You didn't merely overcome, you transcended, proving that greatness doesn't come from following rules, but from forging your own path. Those who doubted you never saw it coming, but in the end, their disbelief only amplified the impact of your triumph. There's something remarkable about those who face adversity with an unwavering spirit. It's not just about proving doubters wrong, it's about discovering the strength that was hidden within all along. Each setback, rather than being a mark of defeat, becomes a catalyst for growth. Failure, instead of breaking you, sharpens your resolve, revealing a potential that was never dependent on external approval. It's not the triumph that defines you, but the process of rising from the dust again and again until the very idea of giving up becomes unimaginable. What truly makes a difference is the quiet power that exists beneath the surface, a force not seen by others but deeply felt when it manifests. This strength doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need to shout its presence. It's a steady pulse, a heartbeat of determination that carries you forward despite the weight of doubt. It's not about being fearless. It's about choosing to continue despite fear. That's where true power lives, in the decision to keep moving when the path is uncertain. When the world seems set against you, it's not the loud affirmations that keep you going, but the quiet conviction that you have within. You don't seek validation because your journey isn't about being acknowledged. It's about realizing that your capacity to endure has always been there. This unspoken resilience is what keeps you grounded when circumstances try to uproot you. The drive doesn't wane over time. Instead, it builds, strengthening every time you choose to push past the barriers. The most profound victories are often uncelebrated. They happen in moments of solitude when no one is watching, and yet they shape the very core of who you are. The unbreakable spirit that emerges from these struggles is not something that can be taken away or diminished. It becomes the essence of your journey, the foundation on which you continue to build. And no matter how many times life tests your resolve, this inner power only becomes more formidable. Some people measure your potential by their own limitations, convinced that you'll follow the path they've outlined. They craft their predictions around who they think you are, defining your future through the narrow lens of their own expectations. But you never intended to fit within those constraints. Your journey was never about staying within the lines they drew. From the start, you envisioned something greater, something uniquely yours. It wasn't about proving them wrong, but about proving to yourself that you could break through barriers they deemed unbreakable. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. With every step, you moved beyond their perceptions, not by force, but by quiet determination. They set their boundaries, but you didn't see walls. You saw space waiting to be filled with possibility. Their doubts became the ground where you planted seeds of progress, and from those seeds grew something they never anticipated, a legacy built not from compliance, but from courage. They thought you would conform, but instead, you redefined the entire narrative. They expected hesitation, yet you moved with certainty, crafting your own story with each deliberate stride. Their disbelief didn't discourage you. It fueled your commitment to rise. You didn't have to shout about your success or demand recognition. Your accomplishments spoke volumes without needing validation. Your strength lies in your ability to find purpose where others only see obstacles. While they focused on the struggle, you focused on growth. You didn't allow their doubts to take root. Instead, you transformed them into stepping stones, building a path that no one else could imagine. Where they saw the end, you saw a new beginning, and as you ascended, they couldn't help but acknowledge that you had gone far beyond what they thought possible. This relentless drive doesn't just change your life, it shifts the perspective of those who once underestimated you. Your resilience becomes undeniable, a force that reverberates through the spaces they thought were unreachable. It's not about proving them wrong, it's about creating a vision so powerful that their skepticism fades into irrelevance, leaving behind the undeniable truth that you were always destined to rise. There's something unexplainable about those who rise despite every challenge, as if they draw power from a place no one can reach. It's not just about making it through hardship, it's about evolving, changing, and becoming something more resilient with every trial. This strength isn't loud or demanding, it's subtle, yet undeniable. While others question how you manage to keep going, they miss the essence of what drives you. A force that doesn't bend under pressure, a quiet energy that pushes you forward when giving up seems more logical. This power doesn't seek recognition or validation. It's not something that can be quantified or dissected. It doesn't follow conventional rules, and it's not defined by outward success. It's an internal force, a presence that fuels determination and steadiness when the world doubts your path. You don't have to explain it to anyone. They can feel it without fully understanding. It's not just your ability to keep moving, it's your refusal to be limited by what others think you can achieve. What others don't see is that your strength doesn't come from what they assume. It's rooted in an unwavering sense of purpose, a belief that even when the way forward isn't clear, you are being guided towards something greater. It's not about dismissing challenges, but about transcending them. Your power isn't loud or forceful. It's like a quiet flame that never goes out, constantly guiding you through the darkest moments. When they tried to confine you with their expectations, they didn't realize that your potential couldn't be boxed in. You kept rising, not by force, but by persistence. Each attempt to hold you back only added to your momentum. They couldn't grasp how you kept pushing through, but the truth is, it wasn't just determination. It was an inherent drive that nothing could silence. They watched, confused and fascinated, as you continued to break through barriers they thought were unbreakable. The more they doubted, the more your resolve deepened. It wasn't just about overcoming challenges. It was about breaking the pattern of limitation they tried to impose. You didn't just survive, you thrived, transforming every obstacle into proof that you were meant to rise. While they searched for explanations, you kept moving, guided by a sense of purpose that didn't depend on external approval. This force that drives you isn't just a momentary surge, it's a constant, unyielding presence that remains even when things get tough. You trust it, knowing it's not about being invincible, but about being relentless in pursuit of your destiny. In the end, it's this quiet, persistent power that sets you apart, reminding the world that true strength doesn't need to be seen to be real. Sometimes, adversity has a way of revealing the strength hidden within. When others direct their negativity toward you, convinced it will break your resolve, they don't realize that their words become the catalyst for your transformation. Instead of allowing their criticism to sink into your spirit, you take that energy and reshape it into something powerful. It doesn't weaken you. It becomes the foundation on which your resilience is built. Every harsh word, every dismissive glance, only adds fuel to the fire of your determination. What they don't understand is that you've mastered the art of using opposition as momentum. They wanted you to falter, to feel less, but instead, you absorbed that negativity and turned it into drive. Their attempts to diminish your spirit only solidified your commitment to push beyond their expectations. You didn't dwell on their intent to break you. Instead, you focused on transforming that resistance into motivation. Each time they sought to cut you down, you found a way to grow taller, more steadfast, and unshakable. It wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about reaffirming to yourself that nothing external could define your path. Their attempts to hold you back became irrelevant, merely background noise in the symphony of your progress. The more they tried to pull you down, the more you realized that your strength didn't come from their validation. It came from your unyielding spirit. The opposition didn't drain you, it refined you, forging a more resilient version of yourself that they could never have anticipated. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. But beyond the struggle lies something deeper, a purpose that resonates beyond personal victory. It's not just a goal or an ambition, it's a profound calling that transcends the tangible. There is a guiding force that propels you even when the journey is unclear, a sense of direction that doesn't rely on certainty but on faith. It's an inner knowing that you are meant to rise, to break free from the mundane, and to live in alignment with something far greater. This purpose doesn't waver with challenges. It only becomes clearer. Each obstacle you overcome, each trial you endure, is a piece of a larger picture that reveals itself as you keep moving forward. You've learned that greatness isn't about achieving perfection, but about embracing the struggle with unwavering conviction. It's about knowing that your path isn't dictated by others, but shaped by the relentless pursuit of your destiny. As you continue to move toward your calling, you realize that the force guiding you is not something that can be measured or contained. It's a profound connection with your essence, an unbreakable bond with your purpose that carries you through the darkest of moments. You don't need the world's approval, because your journey is shaped by an inner compass that never wavers. It's not just about reaching the peak. It's about embracing the climb, knowing that your purpose will always light the way, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. There's a distinct power that emerges when the realization dawns that your life holds a significance far greater than you once imagined. It's not just about achieving personal milestones or gathering accolades. It's about stepping into the purpose that has been etched into your existence since the beginning. While others tried to confine your potential, setting boundaries around what you could accomplish, they didn't see the quiet force growing within you. They assumed you would settle for less, unaware that your journey was meant to defy the very limits they tried to impose. Standing on the brink of everything you've achieved, the path behind you reveals its true meaning. It was never about just making it through. It was about transforming at every step, about rising despite the odds and creating a legacy that stretches far beyond personal triumph. Those who doubted your ability to succeed never realized that their skepticism would become irrelevant. You were not shaped by their opinions, but by the unwavering belief that your life held more purpose than they could comprehend. When the world questioned your resolve, it wasn't their judgment that defined your direction. It was the quiet, relentless drive to keep moving forward. You didn't wait for them to understand your vision because you knew it was never theirs to define. You embraced the unknown, trusting that each struggle was preparing you for the moments that would shape your destiny. The world saw your ascent and wondered how you did it, but they could never grasp that your strength wasn't derived from external validation. It came from within, a force so deeply rooted that no challenge could uproot it. That pivotal moment, the one where you recognized your true potential, marked the beginning of your transformation. It wasn't just a change in mindset, it was the emergence of a new perspective, one that embraced every struggle as an essential part of the journey. You no longer saw setbacks as reasons to retreat. Instead, they became signals to push harder, to explore depths of resilience you hadn't tapped into before. You stopped seeking permission to succeed because you realized that greatness doesn't wait for approval. It forges its path through persistence and purpose. This newfound strength wasn't merely a physical or mental shift. It was a profound realignment of your spirit. It didn't matter how many times life tried to push you down, because you learned that the force driving you forward wasn't temporary or fragile. It was an unbreakable essence that had been with you all along. You rose, not just because you wanted to, but because you had to. The need to fulfill your purpose became stronger than any doubt, and that realization turned you into a force that couldn't be held back. As the world continues to watch, it becomes clear that your ascent is far from over. The power you discovered within yourself has no expiration. It grows stronger with every obstacle, with every challenge that attempts to stand in your way. Your spirit has become your greatest ally, guiding you through the chaos and reminding you that you were born to rise. No matter what lies ahead, your resolve remains untouchable, driven by a purpose that transcends circumstance. You are no longer just surviving, you are thriving, embodying the limitless potential that was always yours to claim. Sometimes, the world only sees the battles you fight, assuming that your strength is solely your own. They don't realize that behind your resilience lies an invisible force, one that silently weaves through your journey, providing strength when yours falters. This force isn't obvious or loud. It doesn't announce itself. Instead, it moves quietly, always present, giving you the will to keep going even when everything seems against you. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of unseen hands guiding you, of subtle signs reminding you that you're never truly alone. There were moments when you felt on the brink of giving up, when the weight felt too much to bear. Yet somehow, from deep within, a spark reignited, pushing you to take another step. You might have thought it was pure willpower, but it was more than that. It was the unwavering support that works behind the scenes, lifting you even when you can't see it. This quiet strength doesn't seek acknowledgement. It doesn't crave validation. Its purpose is simple: to keep you moving when your own resolve is stretched thin. In the darkest hours, when doubt threatened to consume your spirit, this force remained constant. It didn't promise an easy path, nor did it erase the struggles. Instead, it offered the one thing that made the difference: the courage to continue. You didn't always notice it working, but it was there, guiding your steps when the ground seemed to crumble beneath you. This unseen support doesn't need recognition. It exists to uplift, not to be praised. It is the kind of power that appears in the stillness, offering clarity when chaos threatens to take over. Many would look at your journey and see only your determination, not realizing that it wasn't just your own strength that carried you. There was something more, an intangible presence that never left your side. You moved forward not just because you were strong, but because this support gave you the belief that rising was possible, even when the odds felt overwhelming. This quiet power doesn't fade. It's a steady presence that continues to guide you through uncharted territories. As you grow, its influence becomes clearer, a force that doesn't diminish but adapts to your evolving challenges. It isn't something that can be seen, touched, or measured, yet its impact is profound, shaping your journey and helping you become more resilient. When the world thinks they have you figured out, they overlook this unseen ally, the very source of your ability to rise repeatedly. It is not just a part of your story. It is the foundation of your ascent, a constant reminder that you are never walking alone. As you move forward, this support remains unwavering and steadfast, carrying you toward the greatness that was always within your reach. There's a unique strength that emerges when setbacks become the foundation for growth. It's not just about pushing through difficult times, it's about understanding that every challenge serves a purpose. What others might perceive as failure, you recognize as an opportunity to evolve. Rather than being discouraged by obstacles, you see them as essential parts of the journey. It's this mindset that sets you apart, allowing you to rise above circumstances that might have defeated others. When faced with adversity, you don't just aim to bounce back, you aim to rise even higher. Each time life challenges you, it becomes a chance to reassess, to learn, and to strengthen your resolve. While some may focus solely on the hardship, You choose to see the lessons embedded within.